together in the early days of the company. When I decided to come,
And that creates a problem for both of us.
The contamination levels are actually higher now than they were 3 years ago.
Meeting because we need to discuss your children's future.
Testifying against my own family.
Marcus, tell us what you knew.
Something you'll have plenty of time to think about in federal prison.
Well, Elizabeth Hartwell comes to visit the man who killed her husband.
When you stop carrying shame and start carrying responsibility, everything changes.
Elizabeth, children, I know this is difficult so soon after the funeral, but Richard's instructions were very specific. The will must be read exactly 7 days after his death.
just get on with it, Thomas. We all need to know where we stand.
Mom's right. Dad wouldn't want us sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves. He'd want us to handle business.
This feels wrong, talking about money when Dad's been dead less than a week. We should be grieving, not dividing up his empire.
Sophia's got a point. What's the rush, Thomas? Dad's not going anywhere.
Your father was very insistent about the timing. He said, and I quote, 7 days after my death, not 1 day more. He also left this separate envelope with specific instructions that it only be opened during the will reading.
I've never seen that before. Richard didn't mention any special letter to me.
Dad was always full of surprises. Open it, Thomas.
Actually, Richard's instructions say Elizabeth should open it herself, after I've read the basic will provisions.
This is getting weird. Why all the secrecy? Dad was straightforward about everything else.
Maybe he wanted to say goodbye privately. Some final words for the family.
Let me read the will first. I, Richard James Hartwell, being of sound mind and body. The basics are straightforward. Elizabeth inherits the primary estate and 51% controlling interest in Hartwell Industries. Alex, as the eldest son, receives 30%. Sophia and Marcus each receive 9.5%.
That means Mom and I control the company. That makes sense from a business perspective.
What about the charitable foundations? Dad was always talking about giving back to the community.
There are provisions for various charities, but they're contingent on certain conditions being met.
What kind of conditions? Richard never mentioned conditions to me.
The conditions are explained in the sealed letter. Elizabeth, would you like to open it now?
There's a key in here. And, oh my God.
Mom, what does it say?
My beloved family, if you are reading this, it means I am dead. But I need you to know the truth about how I died, and more importantly, what I did to build our fortune. The key opens a safety deposit box at First National Bank. Box 1247. Inside, you will find documents that will change everything you thought you knew about me and about Hartwell Industries.
Dad's just being dramatic. He always had a flair for theatrics.
Let Mom finish reading, Alex.
I did not kill myself. If my death appears to be suicide, it is murder. Vincent Morrison has been blackmailing me for 15 years about crimes we committed together in the early days of the company. When I decided to come clean and confess everything, he threatened to kill me and frame it as suicide. If you are reading this, he has succeeded.
This is insane. Dad didn't commit any crimes. He was a respected businessman.
Elizabeth, I think we should discuss this privately. Children, perhaps you should.
No. If this involves the family business, we all need to hear it. Keep reading, Mom.
The documents in the safety deposit box will show you everything. Environmental violations, bribery, cover-ups of industrial accidents, falsified safety reports. People died because of what Vincent and I did. I can't live with the guilt anymore, but Vincent will never let me confess. He has too much to lose.
Environmental violations. Dad's company has awards for environmental responsibility.
Elizabeth, my darling wife, you must decide what to do with this information. The money we built our life on is blood money. But if you expose the truth, Vincent will destroy our children to protect himself. Alex is already involved in some of the cover-ups, though he doesn't know the full scope. Sophia's journalism career could be ruined if she's connected to corporate corruption. Marcus's law career would be over before it starts.
What does he mean I'm involved in cover-ups? I run legitimate operations.
Elizabeth, I strongly advise we stop here and discuss this with proper legal counsel present.
The choice is yours, my love. Protect our children's future by staying silent, or protect your soul by telling the truth. I chose truth, and it cost me my life. Whatever you decide, know that I love you all more than the empire I built on lies. The key will unlock more than just a safety deposit box. It will unlock the truth about who Richard Hartwell really was.
We have to go to the police. If Dad was murdered.
We're not doing anything until we know exactly what we're dealing with. Thomas, you knew Dad better than anyone. Is any of this possible?
Alex, there were always aspects of your father's business dealings that he kept private, even from me.
That's not a no, Thomas.
We're going to that bank. Right now. All of us. We need to know the truth before we decide anything.
Chen, we got an anonymous tip about the Hartwell suicide. Someone thinks it wasn't suicide at all.
Richard Hartwell, the businessman who killed himself last week. What makes someone think it was murder?
Anonymous caller claimed Hartwell was about to expose corporate corruption involving environmental crimes. Said someone killed him to keep him quiet.
Anonymous tips are usually cranks. What makes this one worth our time?
The caller knew details about Hartwell's business that weren't public. Mentioned specific companies, dates, even some internal code names. This person had inside information.
Did you trace the call?
Burner phone. Bought with cash, disposed of immediately after the call. But here's the interesting part, the caller mentioned Vincent Morrison specifically.
Morrison. I know that name. He's been on our radar for years, but we've never been able to make anything stick. White-collar crimes, suspected environmental violations, but always just out of reach.
The caller said Morrison and Hartwell were partners in covering up industrial accidents that killed people. Said Hartwell grew a conscience and Morrison killed him for it.
That's a serious accusation. What's our evidence situation?
That's the problem. Hartwell's death scene was clean. Perfect suicide setup. Gun registered to him, powder residue on his hands, no signs of struggle. If it was murder, it was professional.
But you're not convinced it was suicide.
Something felt off. Hartwell's business was thriving, family was stable, no financial problems, no health issues. Why kill himself now?
Maybe guilt over past actions. If he really was involved in covering up deaths.
Or maybe someone made sure he couldn't confess. Chen, if Morrison is involved, this could be bigger than just one murder.
What do you need from me?
FBI resources. If this is corporate conspiracy involving multiple murders and environmental crimes, it's federal jurisdiction. I can't investigate Morrison's business empire alone.
You're talking about opening a major investigation based on an anonymous tip. My supervisor will need more than suspicions.
I've been digging into Hartwell Industries' history. There are patterns. Industrial accidents that were covered up quickly, environmental violations that disappeared from public records, whistleblowers who suddenly withdrew their complaints.
That's still circumstantial. What about physical evidence?
I want to re-examine Hartwell's body. The autopsy was rushed because it seemed like an obvious suicide. But if we look closer,
You think we missed something?
I think someone wanted us to miss something. Chen, what if Hartwell left evidence behind? What if he knew he was going to be killed and prepared for it?
Like what?
Documents, recordings, proof of the crimes he was going to confess. If Morrison killed him to stop a confession, that evidence might still exist.
Where would Hartwell hide evidence that Morrison couldn't find?
That's what we need to figure out. But first, we need to watch the family. If Morrison killed Hartwell to keep him quiet, he might target the family if they start asking questions.
You think the family's in danger?
I think everyone who gets close to the truth about Hartwell and Morrison is in danger. The question is, does the family already know what they're dealing with?
Mom, I don't understand how Dad could have been involved in environmental crimes. His whole public persona was about corporate responsibility.
People aren't always what they appear to be, sweetheart. Your father. I'm learning that I didn't know him as well as I thought.
Mom, look at this. It was hidden inside Dad's copy of The Art of War. There are newspaper clippings in here about industrial accidents, environmental disasters. But they're all marked up in Dad's handwriting.
What kind of markings?
Notes about cover-up strategies, media manipulation, legal loopholes. Mom, it's like he was studying how to hide corporate crimes.
Or studying how other people hid crimes. Maybe he was investigating, not participating.
I want to believe that, but look at this. There's a handwritten note that says, Morrison's method, works every time. And it's dated 15 years ago, right when Hartwell Industries had its first major expansion.
Vincent Morrison. That name keeps coming up. Your father mentioned him in the letter.
Mom, as a journalist, I've investigated corporate corruption before. These notes, these clippings, this is research someone does when they're planning crimes, not exposing them.
What are you saying, Sophia?
I'm saying Dad's confession letter might be telling the truth. And if it is, our entire family fortune is built on crimes that killed people.
What are you doing?
Research. If Dad and Morrison really covered up environmental disasters, there will be records. Lawsuits that were dropped, investigations that went nowhere, families of victims who were paid off.
Sophia, we need to be careful. If your father was murdered for trying to expose the truth, we could be putting ourselves in danger.
Mom, I'm a journalist. This is what I do. And if our family money came from hurting people, don't we have an obligation to make it right?
We have an obligation to protect this family. Your father's last act was trying to protect all of you.
By staying silent about crimes? That's not protection, Mom. That's complicity. Hello.
Sophia Hartwell? This is someone who worked with your father. We need to talk.
Who is this? How did you get this number?
Your father left instructions that if anything happened to him, I should contact you. He said you were the only one in the family who would understand the importance of the truth.
Sophia, hang up. This could be dangerous.
What truth? What did my father want me to know?
Not over the phone. Meet me tomorrow at the Environmental Law Library at Georgetown. 2 o'clock. Come alone. And Miss Hartwell, be very careful who you trust. Your father discovered that someone in your family has been working with Morrison for years.
Someone in our family? That's impossible.
Is it, Mom? Think about it. How would Morrison know Dad was planning to confess unless someone told him?
You're talking about Alex or Marcus betraying their own father.
I'm talking about someone who had access to Dad's plans and the means to communicate with Morrison. Someone who would benefit from keeping the crimes covered up.
Sophia, you cannot meet this person. We don't know who they are or what they want.
Mom, what if this person has evidence that could prove Dad was murdered? What if they know who in our family betrayed him?
What if it's a trap? What if Morrison is using this person to get to us?
Then we'll never know the truth. And Dad's death will never be avenged.
Mr. Morrison, Mrs. Hartwell called. She wants to meet with you tomorrow morning. She said it was urgent and concerned Richard's final business arrangements.
Did she say what specific arrangements?
No, sir. But she sounded upset. Almost angry.
Angry. That's not good. Richard promised me his family would never know about our business arrangements.
Should I schedule the meeting?
Yes. But not here. Set it up at the warehouse on Industrial Drive. And make sure we have privacy.
The warehouse, sir? Wouldn't your office be more appropriate for a grieving widow?
Elizabeth Hartwell isn't just a grieving widow. She's Richard's heir, which means she now controls information that could destroy both our companies. It's Morrison. We have a problem. Elizabeth Hartwell wants to meet, and I think Richard left her more than just money.
How much does she know?
That's what I need to find out. But if Richard broke his promise and told her about our arrangements, we'll need to handle this permanently.
The same way we handled Richard?
If necessary. But first, I want to give her a chance to be reasonable. Elizabeth is a practical woman. She might choose to protect her family's fortune over pursuing some misguided sense of justice.
And if she doesn't choose to be practical?
Then she'll join her husband. But we need to be careful. Richard's death looked like suicide because he was isolated and depressed. Elizabeth's death would be harder to explain.
Unless it was an accident. Grieving widow, not paying attention to traffic, tragic end to a tragic story.
That could work. But only if we're certain she knows too much to be allowed to live. Cancel my appointments for tomorrow afternoon. After I meet with Elizabeth Hartwell, I may need to make some arrangements.
What kind of arrangements, sir?
The kind that ensure my business partnership with Richard Hartwell died with Richard Hartwell.
What were you trying to tell me, Richard?
Elizabeth, if you're hearing this, it means Vincent made good on his threat. I've been recording our conversations for months, ever since I told him I wanted out of our arrangement. The safety deposit box contains financial records, environmental reports we falsified, death certificates we covered up. But this recording contains something more important, proof that Vincent Morrison murdered 3 people to keep our crime secret.
3 people? Oh God, Richard, what did you do?
I was weak, Elizabeth. When our first factory had the chemical leak that killed those workers, Vincent convinced me that covering it up was better than destroying both our companies. He said we could help the families privately, pay them more than they'd get in lawsuits.
But it didn't stop there. Every time someone got close to the truth, Vincent had a solution. When the EPA investigator wouldn't take our bribes, Vincent arranged for his car accident. When the union leader threatened to expose the cover-up, Vincent made sure his heart attack looked natural. Richard, how could you let this happen?
I thought I could control it. I thought we could stop after the first cover-up. But Vincent enjoyed the power. He enjoyed having life and death control over people who threatened our business. Elizabeth, our son Alex knows about some of the environmental violations. I brought him into the company thinking I could protect him, but I've only made him complicit. Vincent has been grooming Alex to take over the illegal operations when I retire.
No. Alex wouldn't, he couldn't.
Alex doesn't know about the murders. He thinks we're just cutting corners on environmental regulations to save money. But Vincent is planning to tell him everything and make him a full partner in the conspiracy.
I've decided to confess everything to the FBI. I can't let Alex become a murderer like Vincent. I can't let our family fortune continue to be built on blood money. But Vincent killed you before you could confess.
If I'm dead, Elizabeth, it means Vincent discovered my plan. The recording device in this player has a backup drive hidden inside. Remove the back panel. That drive contains recordings of Vincent confessing to murder, planning new crimes, threatening my life. Elizabeth, you have a choice I never had. You can take this evidence to the FBI and destroy Vincent Morrison forever. But doing so will mean Alex goes to prison as an accessory. Sophia's journalism career will be ruined by association. Marcus will never be able to practice law.
What am I supposed to do, Richard? How can I choose between justice and our children's lives?
I can't make that choice for you, my love. But I can tell you this, Vincent Morrison will never stop. He'll use Alex to expand the criminal operations. He'll corrupt our family completely unless you stop him.
Elizabeth, my deepest condolences on Richard's tragic death. Suicide is always so unexpected.
Cut the act, Vincent. I know Richard didn't kill himself. I know you murdered him.
That's a serious accusation, Elizabeth. Grief can make people say irrational things. Perhaps you should speak with a professional about these paranoid delusions.
I found Richard's confession letter. I know about the environmental cover-ups, the bribes, the murders you committed to keep your crimes secret.
Richard always was too sentimental. I told him not to leave any evidence behind, but he never could resist dramatic gestures.
So you admit it. You killed my husband.
I eliminated a threat to our business partnership. Richard lost his nerve at the worst possible time. The EPA was starting a new investigation, and Richard wanted to confess everything just to ease his guilty conscience.
Those people you killed had families. They had children who grew up without fathers because of what you did.
Those people were obstacles to progress, Elizabeth. Sometimes sacrifice is necessary for the greater good.
The greater good? You mean your bank account?
Our bank accounts, Elizabeth. Don't pretend you didn't benefit from every dollar Richard and I earned through our partnership. Your mansion, your children's education, your comfortable lifestyle, all of it was built on the foundation Richard and I created.
I didn't know how the money was earned.
But you know now. And that creates a problem for both of us. I have detailed records of every crime Richard committed, every cover-up he participated in, every bribe he authorized. If this information becomes public, it won't just destroy my reputation, it will destroy your family.
What do you want, Vincent?
$50 million. transferred to offshore accounts I'll specify. In exchange, these records disappear forever, and your family's reputation remains intact.
50 million? That's almost our entire liquid assets.
Consider it a small price to pay for your children's futures. Without this money, Alex's business career is over, Sophia's journalism career is finished, and Marcus will never practice law.
You're blackmailing me with my own husband's crimes.
I'm offering you a business proposition. 50 million for your family's continued prosperity and safety.
Safety? Are you threatening my children?
I'm explaining reality, Elizabeth. Richard thought he could expose our partnership and protect his family. He was wrong. You're smarter than Richard. You understand that some secrets are too dangerous to reveal.
And if I refuse to pay?
Then these documents get delivered to the FBI, the EPA, the media, and every law firm in the country. Your children will spend their lives defending themselves against criminal charges and civil lawsuits.
You'll be implicated too. These crimes will destroy your business as well.
I have excellent lawyers and carefully constructed alibis. Most importantly, I have Richard's signed confessions admitting that he masterminded everything while I was an unwilling participant.
Richard would never sign confessions like that.
Richard signed whatever I put in front of him during our final conversation. Amazing what people will do when they're desperate to protect their children.
I need time to think about this.
You have 48 hours, Elizabeth. After that, I assume you've chosen to let your family pay the price for Richard's crimes.
Alex, I need to ask you some questions about your work with your father, and I need you to be completely honest with me.
Mom, what's this about? You look like you haven't slept.
Did your father ever ask you to falsify environmental reports or cover up safety violations at the factories?
Mom, where is this coming from?
Answer the question, Alex. Have you been involved in covering up environmental crimes?
It's not that simple, Mom. Sometimes in business, you have to bend the rules to stay competitive.
Bend the rules? Alex, we're talking about crimes that killed people.
Killed people? Mom, what are you talking about? Dad and I made some regulatory shortcuts to save money, but nobody died.
Alex, your father left me recordings. Vincent Morrison murdered 3 people to cover up environmental disasters that you and your father caused.
Morrison killed people? Mom, I swear I didn't know about any murders.
But you knew about the environmental violations?
I knew we were cutting corners on some safety procedures. Dad said it was standard practice in the industry. He said everyone did it.
Standard practice? Alex, your father's shortcuts caused chemical leaks that killed factory workers.
I thought those deaths were accidents. Dad told me the investigations cleared us of any wrongdoing.
The investigations were falsified, Alex. Your father and Morrison bribed officials and destroyed evidence.
This is insane. You're telling me that everything I've worked for, everything Dad built, is all based on murder and cover-ups?
I'm telling you that Vincent Morrison is now blackmailing our family for $50 million to keep this information secret.
Blackmail? Mom, if Morrison has evidence of crimes, he's implicating himself too. Why would he risk exposure?
Because he has fake confessions that make your father look like the mastermind while Morrison appears to be a victim.
Fake confessions? When did Dad supposedly sign these?
Right before Morrison murdered him, Alex. Your father was going to confess everything to the FBI, and Morrison killed him to stop it.
Morrison has been planning this for months. He's been asking me questions about Dad's state of mind, his business plans, his relationships with government regulators.
What did you tell him?
I told him Dad had been acting strange lately, asking questions about our environmental compliance, wanting to review old safety reports. Morrison said Dad was probably just being cautious because of the new EPA investigations.
Alex, you gave Morrison the information he needed to know that your father was planning to confess.
I didn't know. Morrison said he was trying to help Dad prepare for regulatory scrutiny.
Morrison used you to spy on your own father, Alex.
What do we do now, Mom? If we don't pay Morrison, he destroys our family. If we do pay him, we're admitting guilt and funding his criminal enterprise.
There's a third option, Alex. We take the evidence I found to the FBI and expose Morrison ourselves.
Mom, if we do that, I go to prison. I've been falsifying environmental reports for 3 years. I'm an accessory to everything Dad did.
Better than letting Morrison get away with murdering your father.
Easy for you to say. You're not the one facing 20 years in federal prison.
Sophia, what's this investigation you're working on? I see requests for access to EPA files, OSHA reports, environmental lawsuit records.
I'm investigating a pattern of corporate environmental crimes that may have been covered up through bribery and murder.
That's a serious story. Do you have sources willing to go on record?
I'm working on it. But James, this investigation might involve my own family's company.
Hartwell Industries? Sophia, that's a conflict of interest. You can't investigate your own family's business.
What if my family's business is involved in crimes? Don't I have an obligation to report the truth?
You have an obligation to maintain journalistic integrity. If Hartwell Industries is involved, you need to recuse yourself and let another reporter handle it.
James, what if I have evidence that my father was murdered to cover up environmental crimes? Should I ignore that because it's a conflict of interest?
Sophia, are you telling me you think your father's suicide wasn't actually suicide?
I'm telling you I have evidence that my father was involved in covering up industrial accidents that killed workers, and when he decided to confess, his business partner had him murdered.
That's a hell of a story, but you're too close to it. If you have evidence of murder, you need to take it to the police, not publish it in the newspaper.
The police ruled it suicide. They're not going to reopen the investigation without compelling new evidence.
What evidence do you have?
Documents showing a pattern of environmental violations, financial records proving systematic bribery, and testimony from someone who claims to have inside knowledge of the cover-ups.
Who's your source?
I don't know yet. They contacted me anonymously and want to meet today.
Sophia, this sounds dangerous. If your father was really murdered, you could be putting yourself at risk.
James, I became a journalist to expose corruption and seek justice. I can't abandon those principles just because the corruption involves my family.
I admire your integrity, but I'm worried about your safety. If there really is a murderer involved in this, they won't hesitate to kill again.
Hello.
Miss Hartwell, this is Maria Santos. I was your family's household manager for 15 years.
Maria. I remember you. You left our employment about 5 years ago.
I left because I discovered things about your father's business that frightened me. I'm the person who called you yesterday.
You have information about my father's murder?
I have information that will shock you, Miss Hartwell. But we can't talk over the phone. Meet me at the Environmental Law Library in 30 minutes.
Maria, is it safe? Are we in danger?
We're all in danger as long as Vincent Morrison is free. Your father tried to protect the family by keeping secrets, but secrets only protect murderers.
Sophia, I heard that conversation. You're not going to this meeting alone.
James, this is something I have to do.
Then you're doing it with backup. I'm calling Detective Rodriguez. He owes me a favor, and he's been investigating corporate corruption cases.
You think we need police protection?
Sophia, if your source is right about murder and cover-ups, then everyone involved in exposing the truth is a potential target.
I've called this family meeting because we're facing a crisis that threatens to destroy everything your father built.
Mom, what kind of crisis? Is it financial? Legal?
It's both. And it's moral. I've discovered that your father's business empire was built on crimes that resulted in people's deaths.
What are you talking about? Dad was a respected businessman.
Marcus, Mom found evidence that Dad and Vincent Morrison covered up environmental disasters that killed factory workers.
It's worse than that. I met with our former household manager today. Maria Santos witnessed Morrison threatening Dad's life.
Are you saying Dad was murdered?
I'm saying Vincent Morrison killed your father to prevent him from confessing to the FBI about their criminal partnership.
Then we go to the police immediately. Murder is murder, regardless of the motive.
It's not that simple, Marcus. I've been involved in some of the cover-ups. If we expose Morrison, I go to prison too.
Alex, you knew about environmental crimes and didn't report them? You're a corporate officer with legal obligations.
I thought we were just bending regulations to stay competitive. I didn't know people had died.
The question is, what do we do now? Morrison is blackmailing Mom for $50 million.
Blackmail is a federal crime. We report it to the FBI and let them handle Morrison.
If we report the blackmail, we have to explain what Morrison is blackmailing us about. That means admitting to all the environmental crimes.
So we admit to the crimes. It's the right thing to do. Alex, easy for you to say. Your law career isn't built on falsified environmental reports.
Alex, people are dead because of what you and Dad did. Don't you think their families deserve justice?
Of course they deserve justice. But destroying our family won't bring those people back to life.
Alex, you're talking like a criminal trying to avoid responsibility.
I'm talking like someone who understands that our choices affect more than just us. Mom, if we expose Morrison and Dad's crimes, what happens to the thousands of people employed by Hartwell Industries?
Alex, you can't use other people's jobs as an excuse to cover up murder.
I'm not covering up murder. I'm trying to find a solution that doesn't destroy innocent people's lives.
What about the innocent people who died because of the environmental violations? What about their families?
We can help those families privately. We can set up compensation funds, provide medical care, pay for education.
With blood money, Alex? You want to pay off the victims' families with profits from the crimes that killed their loved ones?
I want to help people without destroying our ability to continue helping them.
Children, stop arguing. We're a family, and we need to make this decision together.
Mom, I'm a journalist. My career is built on exposing the truth. How can I continue working if I'm covering up the biggest story of my life?
And I'm a lawyer. My oath requires me to uphold justice. I can't ignore evidence of murder and environmental crimes.
So you're both willing to sacrifice the family to maintain your professional integrity?
We're willing to do what's right, regardless of the personal cost.
And I'm willing to do what's practical, regardless of idealistic principles.
Alex, you sound exactly like your father did when he first started compromising his values for business success.
Maybe Dad understood something about the real world that the rest of you don't want to face.
The real world? Alex, Dad's understanding of the real world got him murdered.
Hello?
Elizabeth, I hope you've had time to consider my proposal.
Vincent, I'm not paying you $50 million to cover up my husband's murder.
Your husband's murder? Elizabeth, you're still confused about what happened. Richard killed himself because he couldn't live with the guilt of his crimes.
I have recordings of Richard describing how you threatened his life.
You have recordings of a mentally unstable man making paranoid accusations. No court would consider them reliable evidence.
What about the USB drive with recordings of you confessing to murder?
Elizabeth, you're playing a very dangerous game. Richard thought he was smarter than me too.
Are you threatening me, Vincent?
I'm explaining reality. You have something that belongs to me, and I want it back.
The recordings belong to the FBI. They're evidence of your crimes.
The recordings are fabrications created by Richard to frame me for his own crimes. But they're dangerous fabrications that could be misinterpreted.
Misinterpreted? Vincent, you confessed to murdering 3 people.
I discussed Richard's paranoid theories about industrial accidents. He was recording our conversations without my knowledge, and editing them to support his delusions.
You're lying.
I'm protecting myself from false accusations. Elizabeth, I'm prepared to offer you a revised deal.
I'm not making any deals with you.
$25 million and the USB drive in exchange for guaranteed safety for your entire family.
Guaranteed safety? You mean you won't murder us like you murdered Richard?
I mean your children will be able to continue their careers without interference from criminal investigations or media exposure.
Rodriguez, are you getting clear audio from the boardroom bug we planted yesterday?
Crystal clear. Alex Hartwell just arrived. He's heading straight to the 32nd floor, that's where all the executive meetings happen.
Good. We've been tracking Richard Hartwell's offshore accounts for 6 months. The money trail leads directly to environmental cleanup funds that were never used. Communities in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, all poisoned, all covered up.
Chen, listen to this. Alex is on the phone now.
Morrison, we have a problem. The FBI visited Marcus yesterday. They're asking questions about Dad's environmental contracts. No, I don't think he'll talk, but Sophia might be different. She's been digging around Dad's old files.
Rodriguez, are you recording this?
Every word. This is direct evidence of obstruction of justice.
I understand the risks, Vincent. But shutting down the Pennsylvania operation now would raise too many red flags. We need to maintain normal operations for at least 6 more months. What do you mean, eliminate the problem?
Did he just say, eliminate the problem? Rodriguez, we may have just intercepted evidence of conspiracy to commit murder.
Should we move in now?
Not yet. We need more evidence. But put surveillance on all the Hartwell family members immediately. If Vincent Morrison is planning something, we need to be ready.
Sophia, you've been here all night. What exactly are you looking for in these environmental impact reports?
Jake, look at this. 3 years ago, Hartwell Industries was contracted to clean up chemical contamination in Millfield, Pennsylvania. They received $42 million in federal funding.
Okay, so they cleaned up the contamination. That's good, right?
That's just it, they didn't. Look at these independent water quality reports from last month. The contamination levels are actually higher now than they were 3 years ago.
Wait, are you saying they took the money but never did the cleanup?
Worse than that. According to this geological survey, they actually dumped additional chemicals into the groundwater to cover up the original contamination source.
Sophia, this is huge. This isn't just fraud, this is systematic poisoning of entire communities. Who signed off on these operations?
Richard Hartwell, CEO. My father.
Jesus, Sophia. Are you sure you want to pursue this? This could destroy your family.
Jake, look at these medical reports from Millfield. Cancer rates have increased by 300% in the last 2 years. Children are being born with birth defects. Families are dying because of what my father did.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to Millfield tomorrow. I need to interview the families, document the contamination, and trace exactly where that cleanup money went.
Sophia, if your father was involved in something this big, there are probably other people who will do anything to keep it quiet.
That's exactly why I have to expose it. My father raised me to seek the truth, no matter how much it hurts. I won't dishonor that principle, even if the truth is about him.
Elizabeth, how are you coping with the revelations about Richard's business practices?
I feel like I was married to a stranger, James. 24 years of marriage. And I never knew what he was really doing.
Have you discovered anything specific about his activities that particularly disturbs you?
Yesterday, I found documents in his safe. James, Richard wasn't just cutting corners or bending regulations. He was deliberately poisoning communities. And then taking government money to fix problems he never intended to solve.
Elizabeth, have you shared these documents with anyone? Your children? Legal counsel?
No, I'm not sure what to do. If I expose this, it could destroy Alex. And put my other children at risk. But if I stay silent, people are suffering.
Elizabeth, sometimes the most loving thing a mother can do is protect her family's future. Richard is gone. Exposing past mistakes won't bring back people who have already died.
James, are you suggesting I should cover this up?
I'm suggesting you consider the consequences carefully. Your family has suffered enough loss. Sometimes healing means focusing on the future rather than dwelling on the past.
But what about the families in those communities? Don't they deserve justice?
Elizabeth, your first responsibility is to your own children. Alex is working hard to rebuild the company's reputation. Sophia and Marcus are starting their careers. Don't let Richard's mistakes destroy their futures. Vincent, it's Sullivan. Elizabeth knows about the Pennsylvania operations. She has documents from Richard's safe. Yes, I tried to discourage her, but she's wavering. You need to handle this situation before she makes a decision we'll all regret.
Alex, your father's death has created complications. The FBI is asking questions, and some of our arrangements need to be restructured.
I understand the risks, Patricia. But shutting down operations now would create more suspicion than maintaining the status quo.
Alex, we've been receiving monthly payments from Hartwell Industries for 12 years. If this operation gets exposed, we all go down together.
That's exactly why we need to stay calm. The Pennsylvania site generates $4 million in profit every quarter. If we shut it down, questions get asked.
But Alex, the contamination levels are getting harder to hide. Last month's water tests showed toxicity levels 50 times above federal limits.
Gary, that's what we pay you to handle. Falsify the reports, delay the inspections. Whatever it takes.
What about your family? Your mother, your siblings? Can you guarantee their silence?
Marcus is idealistic but loyal. He won't act against family interests. Sophia is more complicated, but I'm monitoring her activities.
And Elizabeth?
My mother wants to protect her children's future. She'll stay quiet if she believes exposure would hurt us.
Alex, what if she doesn't? What if your mother or Sophia decides to cooperate with the FBI?
Alex? What are you doing here so late?
Mom, I needed to pick up some business files. What are you looking at?
Alex, these bank records show chemical waste disposal payments made last week. Your father died 3 weeks ago.
Mom, those are just routine business expenses. Dad set up automatic payments for various operations.
Alex, this invoice is for dumping industrial chemicals into groundwater in Pennsylvania. It's dated 4 days ago, and it's signed with your authorization.
Mom, you don't understand the complexity of these operations. Sometimes we have to make difficult decisions to protect the larger business.
Alex, are you telling me you've been continuing your father's illegal activities?
I'm telling you I've been protecting our family's financial security and the livelihoods of 8,000 employees.
By poisoning communities? Alex, this report shows you've increased the chemical dumping by 40% since your father died.
Mom, if we shut down these operations, the FBI will investigate why. If they investigate, they'll discover everything Dad did. Marcus could be charged as an accessory, Sophia could be implicated, and you could lose everything.
So your solution is to keep committing crimes?
My solution is to protect this family by any means necessary.
Alex, your father poisoned those communities because he was weak and greedy. I thought he was protecting our family. But he was just protecting himself.
Mom, I'm doing what Dad should have done. I'm not letting emotions interfere with business decisions.
Alex, you've been poisoning those communities for months. You're not protecting Dad's legacy. You're becoming worse than he ever was.
Detective Rodriguez, you need to see this. We found the missing security footage from 2008.
What am I looking at here?
Richard Hartwell's first murder. Watch this timestamp, 11:47 p.m., March 15, 2008.
You can expose the environmental reports, David. Think about your family.
My conscience won't let me stay silent anymore, Richard. Those chemicals are killing children in 3 counties. I'm going to the EPA tomorrow.
I can't let you do that. I'm sorry, David. I truly am.
David Carter was reported as a suicide. Jumped from his apartment balcony, they said.
But Richard killed him in the office first, then staged the suicide. Vincent Morrison was the responding investigator back then. Wasn't he?
Exactly. Vincent covered it up. That's how their partnership really began, not in business success, but in murder.
How many more are there? How many people did they kill to protect their empire?
We're about to find out. I have a meeting with someone who claims to have witnessed everything. Mrs. Santos, you've worked for the Hartwell family for 23 years. You contacted us saying you witnessed Richard's murder.
I should have come forward years ago. The guilt has been eating me alive.
Tell me exactly what you saw that night.
Mr. Richard had been acting strange for weeks. Drinking more, staying up all night writing in his journal. He kept saying he had to make things right before it was too late.
What happened the night he died?
I was cleaning the kitchen around midnight when I heard shouting from his study. Mr. Vincent was there. He'd come through the back in trance like he always did for their private meetings.
Could you hear what they were arguing about?
Mr. Richard was saying he couldn't live with the blood on his hands anymore. He was going to confess everything. The murders, the cover-ups, the poisoned water supplies. Mr. Vincent was screaming that he'd destroy both their families.
Then what happened?
I heard a crash, then silence. When I looked through the keyhole, I saw Mr. Vincent standing over Mr. Richard's body. There was blood everywhere.
Why didn't you call the police immediately?
Mr. Vincent saw me. He said if I ever told anyone what I witnessed, he'd kill my entire family. He made me help him stage the suicide. The hanging, the note, everything.
Maria, I need you to testify to all of this in court. Will you do that?
Yes. Mrs. Elizabeth deserves to know the truth about her husband. And those families he poisoned deserve justice.
Vincent, they have Maria's testimony. They know you killed Richard.
That old woman should have kept her mouth shut. Just like she did for 3 years.
Mr. Morrison, you're under arrest for the murder of Richard Hartwell. You have the right to remain silent.
Wait. Elizabeth, you want the whole truth? Your perfect husband wasn't the saint you think he was.
I already know about David Carter. I know about the environmental crimes.
Do you know about the other 11 people he killed? Do you know your son Alex helped him with the last 4 murders?
You're lying.
Richard taught Alex everything. How to eliminate threats. How to stage accidents. How to silence witnesses. Your boy has been my partner for the past 5 years.
Do you have proof of these allegations?
Everything's in the safe behind that painting. Richard kept detailed records of every murder, every cover-up. He was planning to use them in his confession.
Why did you kill him, Vincent? Why couldn't you let him confess?
Because I wasn't ready to spend the rest of my life in prison. Richard got weak, developed a conscience. But I'd built this empire with blood. And I wasn't going to watch it crumble because he couldn't sleep at night.
You destroyed my family. You made my husband into a monster and my son into a killer.
Your husband chose this path. And now you have to choose yours, Elizabeth. Protect what's left of your family. Or watch all 3 of your children go down with Alex.
Marcus, we need to talk. It's about your father and Alex.
Mom, you look terrible. What's happened?
Your brother Alex is implicated in multiple murders, Marcus. We need your help to build the case against him.
That's impossible. Alex isn't a killer. He's ruthless in business, but he wouldn't.
Vincent has evidence, Marcus. Videos, documents, records of everything. Your father trained Alex to be his successor in every way.
You're asking me to help send my own brother to prison?
We're asking you to help us stop more people from dying. Alex is planning to eliminate witnesses, including his own sister.
Sophia? What does she have to do with this?
Her investigation is getting too close to the truth. Alex sees her as a threat to the family business.
I became a lawyer to fight corruption, not to enable it. But Alex is my brother. How can I choose between justice and family?
Sometimes protecting your family means stopping them from becoming monsters.
If I testify against Alex, will you protect Sophia?
We'll do everything we can. But we need your cooperation to build a strong case.
Mom, what do you want me to do? I'll follow your lead on this.
I don't know anymore, Marcus. I don't know how to choose between saving Alex and saving his victims.
Elizabeth, I asked for this meeting because we need to discuss your children's future.
You've destroyed any future they might have had.
Alex is already planning to eliminate Sophia and Marcus. He sees them as liabilities. If you don't act soon, you'll lose all 3 children instead of saving one.
What are you proposing?
Help me disappear. In exchange, I'll give you everything you need to stop Alex before he kills again. You can save Sophia and Marcus, even if you can't save Alex.
You want me to help a murderer escape justice?
I want you to save what's left of your family. Alex has crossed a line that Richard never did. He's planning to kill his own siblings.
Mrs. Hartwell, don't listen to him. We can protect Sophia and Marcus without compromising the investigation.
Can you? Can you really guarantee their safety while Alex is free?
Elizabeth, I killed your husband because he was going to destroy everything we built together. Now you have a choice. Join me in protecting what's left, or watch your children go to prison for his crimes.
You're asking me to become an accessory to murder.
I'm asking you to choose which of your children deserves to live, because Alex won't hesitate to choose for you.
I need time to think.
You have until tomorrow morning. After that, Alex makes his move against Sophia, and all your choices disappear.
Agent Chen. It's Elizabeth Hartwell. We need to talk.
Mrs. Hartwell, I'm surprised to hear from you. Are you ready to cooperate?
Vincent Morrison killed my husband. He's threatening my children. I'll help you, but I need guarantees about my family's safety.
What kind of guarantees?
Witness protection if necessary. Reduced sentences for cooperation. My children didn't know the full extent of Richard's crimes when they were committed.
I can work with the prosecutor's office, but I need evidence. Real evidence.
Richard kept records. Hidden files. Bank accounts, payoffs, environmental reports. Everything Vincent thinks was destroyed.
Where are these files?
In our safety deposit box. Richard never trusted Vincent completely. He kept insurance.
Mrs. Hartwell. If Vincent discovers you're working with us.
He won't. I'll play along with his demands while gathering evidence for you. But Agent Chen, promise me. Whatever happens to me, protect my children.
Elizabeth, this is extremely dangerous. Vincent has already killed once.
I'm a mother, Agent Chen. Sometimes we have to risk everything to save our children's souls.
Sophia, you need to be careful. The contamination data you're investigating. It goes deeper than you think.
How deep? We're talking about poisoned groundwater affecting thousands of families.
The company responsible has been covering this up for over 15 years. They've paid off officials, buried reports, even threatened scientists who tried to speak out.
What company? I need names, Rebecca.
Hartwell Industries. But Sophia, there's something else. The current CEO, Alexander Hartwell, he's not just continuing the cover-up, he's making it worse.
Alex, my brother Alex.
Your brother? Oh my God, Sophia. I had no idea you were a Hartwell.
Show me everything. Every document, every report. I don't care if it's my family, people are dying.
If your brother finds out you're investigating this,
then I'll make sure he can't stop the truth from coming out. My father raised me to be a journalist, not a family enabler.
We need to leave. Nah. That man has been following me for 3 days.
Following you? Rebecca, what aren't you telling me?
2 other scientists who worked on this case are dead. Sophia. Car accidents, they said. But I know better.
Vincent, we have a problem. My sister is investigating the environmental cases.
How much does she know?
Too much. She's been meeting with Dr. Martinez. The scientist who's been trying to expose us for years.
Dr. Martinez won't be a problem much longer. Neither will your sister if she doesn't back off.
Wait, Vincent. Sophia is my sister. We can handle this without extreme measures.
Your father was weak when it came to family, Alex. That's why he's dead. Are you going to make the same mistake?
I'll talk to her. Convince her to drop the story. Give me 48 hours.
24 hours, Alex. And if she doesn't listen, she becomes a liability we can't afford.
Alex, we need to talk. The FBI contacted me today. They're asking about your father's business dealings.
What did you tell them?
Nothing yet. But Alex, I'm an officer of the court. If they subpoena me, I can't lie under oath.
Thomas, you've been our family lawyer for 20 years. My father trusted you with everything.
And look where that trust led. Your father is dead, and your family is under federal investigation. Alex, maybe it's time to consider cooperation instead of cover-up.
Cooperation? Thomas, do you have any idea what cooperation would mean? Prison sentences, asset forfeiture, the complete destruction of everything my father built.
Your father built an empire on poisoned ground, Alex. Maybe it deserves to be destroyed.
Mr. Hartwell, we appreciate you coming in voluntarily. This conversation is being recorded with your consent.
I understand. I want to do the right thing, even if it means testifying against my own family.
Marcus, tell us what you knew about your father's business practices.
Growing up, I knew something was wrong. Dad would have these late-night phone calls, emergency meetings. Money would appear and disappear from our accounts without explanation.
Did you ever witness any specific illegal activities?
When I was 16, I overheard Dad and Vincent Morrison planning to bribe a judge. Judge Patricia Wells. They needed a favorable ruling on an environmental lawsuit.
Did you see money change hands?
Yes. Dad gave Vincent a briefcase full of cash. Said it was for Judge Wells' retirement fund. They laughed about it.
Marcus, you realize this testimony could send your brother to prison? Your mother could face charges as an accessory.
My mother is innocent. She never knew the full extent of Dad's crimes. But Alex chose to continue the corruption. That's on him.
Are you prepared to testify to all of this in court?
Agent Chen, I became a lawyer to fight corruption, not enable it. If testifying against my family is what it takes to get justice for my father's victims, then yes. I'm prepared. There's something else. Vincent Morrison didn't just work with my father, I think he killed him.
That's a serious accusation. Do you have evidence?
The night Dad died, he called me. Said he was going to confess everything, that he couldn't live with the guilt anymore. He was supposed to meet with Vincent to tell him about his decision.
And you think Vincent killed him to prevent the confession?
Dad wasn't suicidal, Agent Chen. He was finally ready to do the right thing. Vincent Morrison made sure he never got the chance.
Hello?
Elizabeth, it's Vincent. We need to discuss our arrangement.
I told you I'd pay. I just need time to liquidate assets without raising suspicion.
I'm afraid time is something we don't have, Elizabeth. You see, I know about your little chat with Agent Chen this morning.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't insult my intelligence. Did you really think you could betray me the same way your husband tried to?
Vincent, whatever you're planning, please. My children are innocent in this.
Your children will be fine, Elizabeth. They'll inherit what's left after I clean up your husband's mess. And your mess. Elizabeth notices her brakes aren't responding as she approaches a steep hill.
Poison, you poisoned me.
A special blend. You have about 20 minutes before it becomes irreversible. Just enough time to think about the choices that brought you here.
Vincent, if I die, Agent Chen will know it was murder. She'll never stop hunting you.
Agent Chen will find a grieving widow who couldn't live with her husband's crimes. Very tragic. Very believable.
My children, tell them I loved them enough to die for their future.
Goodbye, Elizabeth. You should have chosen family loyalty over government cooperation.
She's lucky to be alive. The poison was oleander extract, lethal in higher doses. Plus severe injuries from the car crash when her brakes failed.
Will she make it?
We pumped her stomach and she's stabilizing, but the next few hours are critical. Someone wanted her dead very badly.
This wasn't an accident. Someone tried to murder our mother.
Vincent Morrison. It has to be him.
This is my fault. I kept pushing Mom to protect the business, and now.
Alex, what aren't you telling us? What business are you talking about?
Sophia, there are things about Dad's company, things I've been continuing, that you don't understand.
She almost died because we've been living a lie. All of us.
My children, you're all here.
Mom, who did this to you?
Vincent, he killed your father. And now he wants me dead before I can testify.
Testify about what?
About everything, Alex. The environmental crimes, the murders, the cover-ups. Everything your father built this empire on.
She could have died tonight, Alex.
I know.
And it would have been because we chose money over family. We chose Dad's legacy of corruption over Mom's life.
You don't understand the pressure I've been under. Vincent threatened to destroy everything if I didn't continue the operations.
What operations, Alex? Tell me exactly what you've been doing.
The waste disposal contracts. We've been dumping toxic chemicals in rural communities for 15 years. Dad started it, and I kept it going.
Jesus Christ, Alex. Do you know how many people you've poisoned?
Hundreds. Maybe thousands. The cancer rates in those areas have skyrocketed.
And you kept doing it anyway.
I told myself I was protecting our family's future. But tonight, seeing Mom in that hospital bed, I realized I've become a monster.
It's not too late to stop, Alex. It's not too late to make this right.
Vincent will kill us all if we try to expose this.
He's already trying to kill us. At least if we fight back, we're fighting for something good.
I've been so afraid of losing Dad's empire that I forgot what Mom taught us about right and wrong.
She's been trying to protect our souls, Alex, while we've been trying to protect our bank accounts.
Hello.
Miss Hartwell, I have information about the Morrison chemical conspiracy you've been investigating.
Who is this?
Someone who worked for your father. The environmental crimes you're investigating? They were committed by Hartwell Industries. Sophia's blood ran cold as she stared at her evidence board.
That's impossible. I've been investigating Morrison Chemical, not.
Morrison Chemical was the front company. Your father Richard Hartwell ordered those toxic dumps. Your brother Alex has been continuing them.
You're lying.
Check the incorporation documents. Morrison Chemical is wholly owned by Hartwell Industries. You've been investigating your own family for 6 months. Sophia frantically searched through her files, her hands shaking.
Oh my God. The signatures, the financial transfers. Alex has been signing off on these operations.
Your father killed people to keep this secret. Vincent Morrison killed your father when he tried to confess. And now they're trying to kill your mother.
The children in Riverside County, the cancer clusters in Pine Valley, those were caused by my family.
Your investigation could save hundreds of lives, but only if you're willing to destroy your own family to do it.
My whole career has been built on seeking truth and justice. How can I stop now just because it's personal?
The question is, are you a journalist first, or a Hartwell first?
I'm my mother's daughter first. And she raised me to choose what's right over what's easy.
Vincent Morrison. You're under arrest for the murder of Richard Hartwell. And the attempted murder of Elizabeth Hartwell.
Agent Chin. Right on schedule.
We have evidence linking you to the oleander poisoning. And the brake tampering on Mrs. Hartwell's vehicle.
Evidence? Or Elizabeth's desperate accusations?
We found your fingerprints on the poison vial, Vincent. And your mechanic already confessed to sabotaging the car.
Interesting. And what exactly did Elizabeth tell you about our business relationship?
She told us everything. The environmental crimes, the cover-ups. And how you killed Richard when he tried to come clean.
That woman has no idea what she's destroyed. Richard and I built something bigger than both of us.
You built it on the graves of innocent people. We found Richard's real confession, Vincent. He documented everything before you killed him.
Richard lost his nerve. He was going to destroy 20 years of work because of some guilty conscience.
So you murdered him and made it look like suicide.
Richard was weak. I did what was necessary to protect our interests.
And when Elizabeth threatened to expose you, you tried to kill her too.
Elizabeth had a choice. She could have joined me and protected her children's future. Instead, she chose to be a hero.
She chose to be a mother. Who cared more about her children's character than their bank account?
Character doesn't pay for college tuition. Agent Chin. Character doesn't build empires.
No, but it lets you sleep at night. Something you'll have plenty of time to think about in federal prison.
Agent Shin called me an hour ago. Vincent has been arrested.
It's over, Mom. The man who killed Dad is finally going to pay.
But it's not over for us. We still have to face what your father did. What Alex continued doing.
Mom, I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting our family, but I was destroying everything you taught us.
I've been investigating our own family's crimes for months without knowing it. The environmental damage, the cancer clusters. We caused all of that.
Your father made terrible choices. And Alex, you continued making them. But we have a choice now about what comes next.
The FBI is going to come after us next. They'll want to prosecute everyone involved in the conspiracy.
I'll take full responsibility. This was my decision to continue the operations after Dad died.
Alex, we're family. We face this together.
The question is, do we fight the charges and try to protect our wealth? Or do we cooperate and try to make amends?
There are families who lost children because of the toxins we dumped. How can we put money above their lives?
I've seen the medical reports, Mom. Kids in those communities have leukemia rates 10 times the national average.
We could use our resources to help those families. Set up treatment funds, environmental cleanup.
It would mean giving up almost everything. The mansion. The company. Our social standing.
But we'd keep our integrity. We'd keep our family bond.
I've been living in fear for months, Mom. Fear of Vincent, fear of exposure, fear of losing everything Dad built. I'm tired of being afraid.
My whole career has been about exposing corruption and seeking justice for victims. I can't be a hypocrite now.
Your father forgot that a family's true wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the love and respect we have for each other.
Those families deserve justice, Mom. And we deserve to sleep without nightmares.
I want to be the man you raised me to be, not the criminal Dad's legacy turned me into.
We can't change what's been done. But we can choose how we respond to it.
Are you all sure about this? Once we confess and cooperate, there's no going back to our old life.
Our old life was built on lies and other people's suffering. I don't want that life anymore.
We'll face prison time. We'll lose our fortune. But we'll face it together, as a family united by truth instead of divided by secrets.
The story I'm going to write about this will be the most important article of my career. And the hardest.
I almost lost my life protecting you children from the truth. I realize now that the truth is what will actually save us.
Mom, we know what we have to do. We're going to confess everything. Return all the stolen money. And face the consequences together as a family.
Mrs. Hartwell, you understand you're testifying under oath about your late husband's business practices?
Yes, Congressman. I'm here to tell the truth about Richard Hartwell Industries and the crimes my husband committed.
These are serious allegations. Environmental fraud, bribery, conspiracy. Are you prepared to provide evidence?
I have documents, financial records, and witness testimony. My husband poisoned 3 communities in Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. He bribed officials to cover it up.
How long were you aware of these activities?
I only discovered the truth after Richard's death. But Vincent Morrison, his business partner, has been blackmailing my family with this information for months.
Vincent Morrison, the same man arrested for your husband's murder?
Yes. Vincent killed Richard when my husband developed a conscience and wanted to confess. Vincent couldn't let that happen.
Mrs. Hartwell, why come forward now? Why not take this information to your grave?
Because I'm a mother. And I realized that protecting my children's inheritance meant destroying their souls. I won't let them live with blood money.
Your son Alexander continued these illegal operations after your husband's death. Are you prepared to testify against your own child?
Alex made his choices. Yes, he continued the environmental crimes for 6 months after Richard died. But he's also prepared to face the consequences.
The Hartwell Foundation was built on profits from these crimes. What do you propose to do about that?
We're liquidating all assets. Every penny of dirty money will go to the communities Richard poisoned. We'll spend our lives making this right.
Mrs. Hartwell, do you understand you may face criminal charges yourself?
If ignorance is a crime, then yes. But I'd rather face prison with a clear conscience than live free with a guilty one.
Mr. Alexander Hartwell, you stand accused of continuing criminal conspiracy, environmental terrorism, and accessory to murder. How do you plead?
Your Honor, I plead guilty to all charges.
Mr. Hartwell, do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're facing up to 30 years in federal prison?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand completely.
Your Honor, the defendant continued poisoning communities for 6 months after his father's death. 17 children developed cancer because of his actions.
Your Honor, may I address the court?
You may speak, Mr. Hartwell.
I thought I was protecting my family's legacy. Instead, I became a monster. I poisoned children to protect money. There's no excuse for that.
Your Honor, my client is cooperating fully with authorities. He's providing evidence against other conspirators.
I want those families to know. I will spend every day in prison thinking about what I did to their children. And when I get out, I'll spend my life making amends.
Mr. Hartwell, your cooperation and remorse are noted. However, the severity of your crimes cannot be overlooked. Sentencing will be in 2 weeks.
Alex, I'm proud of you for telling the truth.
Mom, I'm finally the son Dad should have raised. Not the one he actually did.
I'm here with investigative journalist Sophia Hartwell, who's exposed the environmental crimes of her own family's corporation. Sophia, this must be incredibly difficult.
Jennifer, I've spent my career exposing corporate corruption. I never imagined I was living in the home of the biggest criminal of all.
Your investigation revealed that Hartwell Industries dumped toxic chemicals in 3 communities. Tell us about the cover-up.
My father bribed EPA officials, local politicians, even judges. When people got sick, he hired fake scientists to claim the chemicals were harmless.
The cancer rates in these communities are astronomical. Children as young as 5 are dying. How does that make you feel?
It makes me sick, Jennifer. I grew up in luxury while children were dying. Because of my family's greed. That blood money paid for my education. My car, my apartment.
Your brother Alexander continued these crimes after your father's death. Did you know?
I suspected something, but Alex hid it well. When I found out, I immediately contacted the FBI. Family loyalty doesn't excuse poisoning children.
The Hartwell fortune is estimated at $800 million. What happens to that money?
Every penny goes to the victims. Medical bills, environmental cleanup. Compensation for the families who lost children. We're keeping nothing.
Sophia, you could have stayed silent and remained wealthy. Why expose your own family?
Because my father taught me that truth matters more than comfort. He lived a lie, but he raised me to seek justice. I'm honoring the father he should have been, not the criminal he became.
What's next for the Hartwell family?
We face the consequences of our choices. Alex will likely go to prison. Mom and I might face charges too. But we'll face them with clear consciences.
Well, well. Elizabeth Hartwell comes to visit the man who killed her husband. This should be interesting.
I came to look you in the eye and tell you that you failed, Vincent. You killed Richard. But you couldn't kill the truth.
The truth? The truth is your husband was weak. He built an empire with me. Then lost his nerve when people started asking questions.
Richard developed a conscience. You never had one to begin with.
Conscience doesn't pay the bills, Elizabeth. Richard understood that for 20 years. Then suddenly he wanted to play hero.
He wanted to confess because he saw what those chemicals did to children. You killed him to protect money.
I killed him to protect everything we built together. And now you've destroyed it all anyway. Congratulations, Elizabeth. You've made us all poor.
Vincent, you're facing life in prison for murder. I'd say you made yourself poor.
At least I'm not a hypocrite. You lived on blood money for 25 years. Don't pretend you're innocent.
You're right. I was ignorant, not innocent. But I'm fixing that now. Every family you and Richard hurt will be compensated.
Money won't bring back dead children, Elizabeth.
No, it won't. But justice might give their families some peace. You'll rot in prison. And Richard's victims will know their suffering wasn't ignored.
You think you're some kind of hero now? You're just a guilty widow trying to buy redemption.
I'm not trying to buy anything, Vincent. I'm trying to earn forgiveness by telling the truth. Something you and Richard never understood.
After legal fees and government seizures, we have approximately $340 million in clean assets to distribute to victims.
How do we determine who gets what? Some families lost children. Others just got sick.
We create a victim compensation fund. Medical expenses. Lost wages, pain and suffering. We hire independent administrators to ensure fairness.
What about ongoing medical care? Some of those children will need treatment for years.
We can establish trust funds for long-term medical expenses. The money will be managed by a board of community representatives.
Mom, Alex's sentencing is tomorrow. Are you prepared for what might happen?
Your brother made his choices, Marcus. If he goes to prison for 20 years, that's the consequence of his actions.
The FBI says they might charge us as accessories. We benefited from Dad's crimes even if we didn't know about them.
Then we'll face those charges with dignity. We chose truth over comfort. Justice over family loyalty.
I keep thinking about Dad. If he had just been honest from the beginning, none of this would have happened.
Your father was a good man who made terrible choices. We can honor his memory by making better ones.
Elizabeth. You understand that after compensation and legal fees, your family will have virtually nothing left.
Thomas, we never really had anything to begin with. Just blood money and guilty consciences. Now we'll have peace and integrity.
I've been thinking about the families in those communities. Their children are dead because of our comfort. How do we live with that?
We live with it by making sure it never happens again. We spend our lives fighting the kind of corruption Dad represented.
Tomorrow, the judge will sentence Alex. We might all face prison time. But tonight, for the first time in months, I can sleep without nightmares.
Mom, do you regret exposing Dad's crimes? We could have stayed quiet and kept the money.
Sophia, I regret marrying a man who could poison children for profit. But I don't regret choosing your souls over your inheritances.
Whatever happens tomorrow, we're facing it as a family. United by truth. Not divided by secrets.
The judge will sentence us tomorrow. We could face decades in prison. But at least we chose truth over money. Whatever happens, we face it together.
The Hartwell family case presents a unique situation. Mr. Alex Hartwell, you've pleaded guilty to continuing environmental crimes that resulted in community poisoning. Mrs. Elizabeth Hartwell, you've cooperated fully with federal investigators despite personal risk. Ms. Sophia Hartwell and Mr. Marcus Hartwell, you've demonstrated courage in exposing family corruption.
Your Honor, I accept full responsibility for my actions. I continued my father's crimes thinking I was protecting my family, but I was only perpetuating harm to innocent communities.
Judge Wells, my children deserve consequences for their choices. But they also deserve the chance to make amends. They've chosen truth over comfort.
Mr. Alex Hartwell, for continuing environmental crimes, I sentence you to 3 years in federal prison, with eligibility for early release after 18 months based on your cooperation and the family's commitment to victim restitution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll use this time to understand the harm I've caused and prepare to spend the rest of my life making amends.
Mrs. Hartwell, Miss Sophia Hartwell and Mr. Marcus Hartwell, given your cooperation, I'm sentencing you to 2 years probation and 2,000 hours of community service, specifically helping environmental victims.
We accept these terms gratefully. Your Honor, we want to help the communities our family harmed.
Justice isn't just about punishment, it's about repair. We're committed to both.
My name is Elizabeth Hartwell. And my family's business poisoned your water, your air, and your children's futures. We're here not to ask forgiveness. We haven't earned that, but to begin making things right.
Mrs. Hartwell, my daughter has cancer because of your husband's factory. What can you possibly do to fix that?
Nothing can undo the harm we've caused, Maria. But we've liquidated all Hartwell assets, $847 million. And it's going directly to medical care, environmental cleanup, and your families. Every penny.
You could have hidden that money offshore. Why didn't you?
Because my mother taught us that integrity isn't about protecting yourself. It's about protecting others from the harm you've caused.
We're also working to change environmental protection laws so no other family experiences what you've endured. Your pain will prevent other families' pain.
My son asks why he can't drink the water from our tap. What do I tell him?
You tell him that some people made very bad choices. But other people are working every day to fix those choices. And you tell him that he deserves clean water, clean air, and adults who protect his future instead of stealing it.
Elizabeth, Vincent Morrison received life in prison for your husband's murder. Judge Wells' corruption network has been completely dismantled. Your cooperation saved dozens of communities.
Diana, I lost a 30-room mansion and gained a clear conscience. That seems like a fair trade.
Do you ever regret giving up the wealth? You could have hidden money, protected your lifestyle.
I spent 24 years married to Richard thinking wealth meant security. But money built on others' suffering isn't security. It's a prison. I'm freer now than I ever was in that mansion.
Your children seem to have inherited your strength.
They inherited something more valuable than Richard's money. They inherited the choice to be better than their parents. That's the only inheritance that matters.
Elizabeth, the community center wants to name their new environmental justice program after you.
Name it after the victims, Thomas. They're the ones who suffered while we lived in luxury. They deserve the recognition, not us.
Mom, I've been reading every environmental impact report from Dad's factories. Do you know how many children developed asthma because of our greed?
I'm learning. Sophia's documentary is making sure the world knows too.
I spent 10 years thinking business was about winning. I had it backwards. Business should be about not letting anyone lose their health, their safety, their future.
What will you do when you're released?
Marcus has been visiting. We're going to start a non-profit law firm. Environmental justice for communities that can't afford legal representation. We'll use our business knowledge to fight people like we used to be.
And Sophia?
Her documentary about our family's crimes premiered last week. She's become the journalist she always wanted to be. Fearless, honest, protective of people who can't protect themselves.
I'm proud of all three of you. You're the people I hoped you'd become when you were children.
We're the people you taught us to be, Mom. It just took us losing everything to remember those lessons.
Alex. You look different. Lighter somehow.
Prison taught me that guilt weighs more than any chains. When you stop carrying shame and start carrying responsibility, everything changes.
The Environmental Justice Clinic approved our application. We'll be representing 12 communities affected by corporate pollution.
My documentary won the Investigative Journalism Award. But more importantly, it's changing environmental protection laws in 6 states.
I received a letter yesterday from Maria Santos. Her daughter's cancer is in remission, and the medical fund we established is covering all her treatments.
Mom, do you ever miss the mansion? The money? The life we had before?
I miss your father, the man I thought he was. But I don't miss living a lie. I don't miss wondering which of our neighbors' children were getting sick from our factories.
We were rich in money but poor in character. Now it's the opposite.
Rich in character, poor in money. But not poor in what matters. We have each other's respect now. We never had that before.
When your father died, I thought my job was to protect the inheritance he left you. I was wrong. My job was to protect the integrity he almost stole from you.
What do you mean?
A mother's silent sacrifice isn't keeping quiet about her family's crimes. It's finding the courage to speak loudly about them. It's choosing your children's character over their comfort. Their souls over their bank accounts.
You sacrificed our wealth to save our integrity.
And it was the right choice. We can rebuild money. But we couldn't have rebuilt our souls if we'd stayed silent.
I lost my husband to his greed, my fortune to his crimes, and my old life to his lies. But I found my children's respect, my own integrity, and a family bond that money could never buy. That's what a mother's true sacrifice looks like.
We're not the Hartwell dynasty anymore.
No. We're something better. We're a family that chose truth over comfort, justice over wealth, and integrity over inheritance. We're living proof that it's never too late to become the people we should have been all along.